Hello guys, this is your friend and we are back with a new fanfic. Which is what if Hinata gains powerful weapon and Naruto got Harem with Hinata part 1. And if you enjoy this fanfic then please press the like button and subscribe to my channel for more fanfic like this. And now let's start the fanfic. The room is dark. Hinata Hyuga, the member of the Hyuga clan's main household, 12 years old, is floating aimlessly in what looks like an endless darkness. She wakes up and gently lands onto a surface under her. What's going on? Hinata though nervously. She looks around wondering where she is and how she got there. She then sees what looks like a young girl in a black leather hooded coat. Who is that? Hinata thought as she then tried to talk but couldn't. Why can't I talk? She thought. The young girl in the black leather hooded coat only said, "You have been chosen. Regain your courage after choosing one of the 3 weapons you will soon see and then face your fears." Then disappears. What do you mean? Hinata then tried to run after her, but under her a bright light opens from the darkness and shows the surface she is on. A lavender stained glass surface with her on it with eyes closed in the position of praying, also showing the symbol of her clan around the edges of the surface. This is getting weird. Soon the ground starts to shake and then 3 pillars gently fall from the sky, then a glowing light appears on each pillar showing 3 weapons, a sword, a wand and a shield. These must be the 3 weapons she was talking about. She starts to walk when she hears a voice. Power sleeps within you. If you give it form, it will give you strength. Now choose well. Hinata swallowed as first goes and jumps onto the pillar with the wand. The power of the mystic. Inner strength. A staff of wonder and ruin. The voice said. Hinata has a look that shows she doesn't know, then she goes and jumps onto the pillar with the sword. The power of the warrior. Invincible courage. A sword of terrible destruction. Hinata has a look that shows that this isn't her. She finally goes and jumps onto the pillar with the shield. The power of the guardian. Kindness to aid friends. A shield to repel all. Hinata smiled as it looked like this is the perfect choice, so she ends up choosing the shield. Your path is now set. Now what will you give up in exchange? Hinata decides to give up the sword cause she doesn't like fighting. The voice then says, "You chosen the power of a guardian. You given up the power of a warrior. Is this the form you choose?" Hinata nodded her head. Suddenly the pillar that she was on began to sink and disappear as the floor around her began to break away, causing her to fall. Hinata continued falling until she saw another stained glass similar to the last one, except it was dark blue as she gently landed on it. At least it was a safe landing. Soon the shield that she chose appeared in her hands. This is different. As she then swung it. You've gained the power to fight. Hinata then gripped the shield as she then did a gentle fist move with her free hand. She then pushed forward with the shield in her hand, doing a shield attack. All right. You've got it. Use this power to protect yourself and others. Hinata then smiled. I will. She then looked around to see strange black yellow-eyed creatures that was coming out of the floor. What the? There will be times you have to fight. Keep your light burning strong. Hinata swallows as she then ran into one of them as she hit with her palm, releasing chakra from it. One of the creatures was then destroyed in a puff of black smoke. I killed it. She then saw that the other one were fading away back into the floor and disappearing. She then did a sigh of relief. That was close. Behind you. What? She turned around and quickly slashed another creature with the shield. Too close. Then more of them started to come again as Hinata did some more gentle fist moves and also attacked with the shield. Hinata started to breath heavily as the last creature sank into what looked like a pool of darkness as more of it appeared around her. There's nowhere to run. Hinata then started to sink into the darkness as she closed her eyes as it engulfed her. A few minutes had passed. Hinata's eyes were still closed as she was flailing to get out. She then opened her eyes to find herself on another stained glass like the last 2, except it was pink. I hope that never happens again. That was too scary. She then started to breath heavily from the shock. As she stood up, she saw a nicely crafted door, but she was able to see through it. She then went over to try and open it, it won't open. Hinata then looked around when a chest appeared. As she went over to it, she opened it to find a little orb of light that came out of it and went to the door and it wasn't see-through anymore. Now it looks it's able to be open. She then went to the door and opened it, causing a blinding bright light to come out. When the light cleared, she finds herself in the middle of Konoha, but no one was around except her teacher Kurenai, and her two teammates, Kiba and Shino hanging around. Am I still dreaming? Hold on. The door won't open just yet. First, tell me more about yourself. Hinata then went over to Shino. Shino. No. Not Shino, but I guess this is part of the dream. What's most important to you? Shino asked in his monotone voice. Hinata thought long and hard. Friendship. Shino then nodded his head. Is friendship really that important? Hinata then went over to Kiba. What are you so afraid of? Hinata lowered her head in shame. Being different. Kiba then nodded his head. Being different. Is that really so scary? Finally, Hinata walked over to Kurenai. What do you want out of life? Hinata then thought long and hard again. To broaden my horizons. Kurenai then nodded her head. To broaden your horizons, huh? You want friendship. You're afraid of being different. You want to broaden your horizons. Your adventure starts at midday. Keep a steady pace and you'll come through fine. Hinata smiled. That sounds like me. The day you open the door is both far off and very near. Another blinding light appeared as Hinata then appeared again walking on another stained glass, this time being red. A light then appeared in the other end of the circle floor. Hinata then walked over to the light, gripping the shield just in case. Can't be too careful. As soon as she bathed herself in the light, a large group of the strange black creatures appeared out of the ground and surrounded her. Hinata, even though she was scared, activated her Byakugan as she swallowed she gripping the shield and got her free hand ready. What all of this supposed to mean? She defend herself against the creatures as she destroyed them all, she was started to get tried and started to breath heavily again. I don't know how much longer I can take this. Another light soon appeared over her as strangely recovered her strength. The light then moved to the edge of the stained glass as a road of miniature stained glass appeared leading to what looked like another area. Well, I guess since there's nowhere else to go. Hinata then went on the path and followed it to another stained glass, this time being yellow. When she got onto it, she went closer to the light. The closer you get to the light, the greater your shadow becomes. Hinata then turned around to see her long thin shadow. The shadow then started to come out of the floor, rising itself up. What the? Hinata then started to back up in fear as her shadow mutated. But don't be afraid. The shadow grew larger than anything Hinata had seen as she continued to back up. And don't forget, Hinata then turned around to try and run away, but was stopped by the edge of the stained glass as she almost fell off. She then turned back to it, gripping the shield and raising her palm. Well, that voice said not to be afraid. Hinata then remembered something that her sensei once told her. Now team, if any of you are up against an opponent with a greater size than you, the face is always a great weakness, for no one man can train their facial muscles. Kurenai said in Hinata's mind. Hinata then stared at the giant of her former shadow as she then rushed up its arm. Thank you tree climbing exercises. Hinata then did a powerful blow to the giant's face as she jumped back to the ground. The giant then slammed its fist into the ground with the force of an Akimichi, creating a pool of darkness. Coming out of it were the small black creatures she fought before. I think I can hit the hand as well. Hinata then started to bash at its hand and the surrounding creatures. The giant soon brought its hand back up as it then started to create some kind of energy from the heart-shaped hole in its chest area. The energy was then released as it headed for Hinata. Gotta block it. She then used the shield to block the energy as it then got sent back at him. When the energy hit the large creature, it then started to falter as the shield then disappeared from Hinata's grip. What? Hinata by chance dodged an incoming strike from the giant as she then fell to the ground on her butt. A pool of darkness suddenly appeared under her as the giant got closer to her. But don't be afraid. The darkness then started to consume Hinata as the giant got closer and closer. Is this the end of me? You hold the mightiest weapon of all. Hinata tried to crawl out of the darkness as her whole body was continuing to cover her. So don't forget. Hinata turned around and tried to scream as more darkness continued to cover her being. You are the one who will open the door. Hinata starts to gasp for breath as she woke up. What was that all? Something about that dream. It felt way too real. She then slowly started gathering up the gear she would need for the chunin exam. Slipping into the same old thing she wore every day. As she was rushing out of the house she passed her father and paused. I'll be leaving now for the exams. Her father just shrugged and looked away from her. Hinata gets a depressed look in her eyes and leaves. She then starts to run to the meeting point to where her team will be. When she gets to the meeting point she sees her teammate, Kiba with his dog Akamaru and Shino. So Hinata, you ready for the exams? Kiba excitedly asked as Akamaru barked. We must do our best, Shino said in his usual monotone voice. Sure. I'm ready, Hinata mumbled as the three left for the exams. The three soon got to the door for the exams. All right, bring it on, Kiba cheered as he opened the door. When they got in, they saw multiple groups of serious ninjas, all looking anxious to attack at any moment. Whoa, the competition here. Their chakra's incredible, Hinata thought. Yahoo! Found you, Kiba suddenly said as he went over to some familiar people. Hinata then started to blush at one of them. Naruto. The boy I admire. Well, everyone is assembled. Kiba confidently said. Hello. Hinata shyly said. Geez. You guys too? Shikamaru asked. I see. All 9 of this year's rookie genin are taking the exam. I wonder how far we will get. Sasuke. Kiba said. Sasuke then smirked as he smugly said. You seem confident, Kiba. Hinata became lost in her thoughts as Naruto and Kiba started arguing. Why can't I get rid of those memories of that dream I had? Hinata remembered fighting that giant black creature as she began to lose some her color. Naruto noticed her looking pale as he went up to her. Hey Hinata, are alright? You're looking a little pale. Hinata jumped a little that the person she admired was worried for her. No, I'm alright, Jay just didn't have good night, that's all. Hinata then started to get a bit red from blushing. Hey you guys, you should be more quiet. A voice said as everyone turned to the source, teenager with white hair and glasses. You guys are rookies just right out of the academy, right? Screaming like school girls, geez. This isn't a picnic. Who do you think you are? Ino asked. As man named Kabuto introduced himself and revealed some of his secrets, Hinata thought she saw some dark smoke coming out of him. Must be my eyes playing tricks on me. Suddenly Naruto screamed out at how he was going to beat everyone here, drawing attention to them. Then out of nowhere, the 3 sound genin came out and tried to hit Kabuto. He dodged it but then started to throw up. Hinata looked at the 3 genin that just attacked where again she thought she saw some black smoke come out of them. Again, Hinata then started to rub her eyes as she saw it disappeared. What was that all about? She thought. Quiet down you worthless bastards. A voice yelled as a large amount of smoke appeared in the front of the room. As the smoke cleared, a large man wearing a bandana with scars on his face and a group of leaf ninjas. Thanks for waiting. I am Ibiki Morino, the examiner for the Chunin selection exam first test. As he explained that the first test was and the test started. A written test. I was pretty smart back in the academy besides Sakura, but for Naruto. I hope he can somehow pass. Hinata thought as she sat next to Naruto and used her knowledge to do the test. As the test went on, Hinata then noticed that Naruto was struggling at doing the test. Maybe I can help him, Hinata thought as she smiled and blushed. Naruto, you can look at my test, she whispered as she looked over at him. Naruto was surprised and confused at her. Hey Hinata, Why are you willing to do that? Hinata then started to blush as she got nervous and started to play with her fingers. Because I don't want you to disappear here. She then started to shake a little. See, the 9 of us are only rookies. We need to work together. Naruto then started to chuckle a little. Oh, I see. I was kind of confused. Hinata then got a little depressed. That isn't it at all. She thought. She thought as she secretly tried to slide her paper so Naruto could copy it. It's because I admire you. Naruto was about to copy when he saw some of the prompters looking around. Hinata, you don't understand. Huh. Hinata was indeed confused. Naruto then smiled. An incredible ninja like me doesn't need to cheat. Naruto, but, plus, because if you help me cheat, you could get in trouble too. Huh. Hinata was again surprised. I'm sorry, you're right. No problem. As she finished up the test, Hinata smiled a little. At least care for me a little, she thought. You do not make a good shinobi. Forfeit now, Neji demanded. Hinata gasped as Neji said that. You are too kind. You wish for harmony and avoid conflict. You agree with others, never resisting. You have no confidence in yourself. I always feel your sense of inferiority. That's why I thought it would be best for you to remain a genin, but the chunin exams can only be taken as a team of 3. You couldn't turn down your teammate's request and unwillingly entered. This is reality. Am I wrong? No, I just wanted to change myself. Do it myself, Hinata explained. Hinata, as I thought. You are a spoiled brat of the main house. People cannot change themselves. Losers are losers. Their personality and strength will not change. Because people cannot change, differences are born. Expressions like elites and losers are created. Looks, brains, ability, size, and personality, all people judge and are judged are in these values. Based on these unchangeable factors, people discriminate and are discriminated, and they suffer within their own means. Just like the fact that I am from the branch house and you are from the main house, that cannot be changed. I have seen through many things with this Byakugan, so I know you are acting strong, but deep inside you just want to run away from here. Neji activates his Byakugan. Hinata floats her eye to her upper left, then goes to her lower right. Hinata starts to tremble in fear. I imagine that you'll lose. She starts to raise her finger to lip as she raises her right arm and starts to breath heavy. So basically, in reality, haven't you already realized that you cannot change your? You can. In the stand was Naruto, who was pissed off of Neji saying those things about Hinata. Stop deciding things about people. Idiot. Kick that bastards. Hinata. Naruto. Suddenly, Hinata has flashbacks about Naruto and how he won't quit, and also back that dream where she fought those creatures and that giant, which helps her regain her confidence. After intense fight with her cousin Neji, Hinata starts to gasp for breath heavily. She then starts to cough up blood and falls to her knees. She looked at her arms, showing all the points that Neji hit. Hinata. This is the difference in talent that can never change, the difference that divides an elite from a loser. This is the reality that cannot be changed. At the point you said, I do not want to run, you were setting yourself up for regret. You should be overcome with desperation right now. Forfeit. I don't go back, on my word, this is also my ninja way. Hinata explained. Gah. Her heart was hit by a previous attack and she starts to cough up blood. She able to get her head up to look at Neji and sees something. Usually, she doesn't have her Byakugan activated at the time, but she's what looks like a black aura covering Neji. She then looks at the stand and the people, and it looked like that everything froze around her. What is this? A time-space jutsu? Why can only I see this? Darkness. Someone said in the distance. Hinata heard footsteps from a distance near the entrance and she couldn't believe what she saw. Why you? Hinata exclaimed. Walking up to her was the same young girl in a black leather hooded coat. But how? That was only a dream I had. Don't worry, I don't want to fight, just to talk, said young girl in a black leather hooded coat. She then took off her hood, revealing a black short-haired girl. My name is Zian. Hi, my name is. It's alright, I know who you are. I have to say I'm proud. Why? Because, you show an incredible amount of courage. Oh wait, before we continue, let me heal you a bit. Heal. A light green glow cover Hinata. How? My wounds feel all better. I still cannot send chakra to my hands, but I feel a lot better. Zian gave a quick smile. As I was saying, you have an incredible amount of courage and show the will to never give in. That why I chose you. C chose me, for what? You may not remember this, but we met before when you were very young. But how? Truth is I'm only a sprit, I faded away after the time we met. Zian then put her finger to Hinata's head, then a bright light appeared. When the light cleared they appeared in Konohagakure. What? Why are we here? Don't worry, this only the memory I sealed away. Running past them was a young Hinata crying. This was on the same day your sister beat you and took over as the heiress of your main household. Let's follow her. The younger Hinata kept running through the woods. When she came by a spring, there she saw a young girl in a black leather hooded coat. Are you alright, young one? The young girl in a black leather hooded coat asked. This girl, could she be? Young girl in a black leather hooded coat though. I'm sorry, I didn't mean to cause you any worry. I must be going, said young Hinata. Wait, come here, I want to give you something. What? A gift. To one with a strong heart. She then put her hand out and breathed deeply. That's when a bright light came out. As soon as the light disappeared, a silver key-shaped blade with a yellow guard with a handle, a hilt and a head at the end of the shaft that resembles the teeth of a skeleton key. Ahem. In your hand, take this key. So long as you have the makings, then through this simple act of taking, its wielder you shall one day be. And you will find me, friend. No more borders around, or below, or above, so long as you champion the ones you love. The younger Hinata then looked at the blade for a second, after she touched it. She looked at the cloaked girl for a second, she started to hear her bodyguard's voice calling out to her. I guess I have to go. The young girl in the black leather hooded coat then quickly put her head on the young Hinata's head. Wait. What's your name? Hinata Hyuga, she said. Hinata. A nice name for a nice girl. We will meet again. You may not remember me, but I promise we will meet again. The younger Hinata soon had the memory of their meeting locked away. Then she left the spring. A bright light started to shine again and both the older Hinata and Zian were back at the chunin exam preliminaries arena. So all that happened and I didn't remember it? The older Hinata asked. Yes, the dream you had recently showed your power starting to awaken and it's now time for your power to come out. In the form of that blade I touched, right? Yes, it's called a keyblade and I think this the right for it to come. Zian looked at Neji with the dark aura around him. His rage and hatred towards the main house of your family is causing him to be corrupted by darkness. Are you ready to be a keyblade wielder? I am, Hinata said proudly. Good. Zian then walked through Hinata showing what she has to do in order to summon her keyblade. I understand and thank you. Well, I guess it's time for my sprit to rest now. Good luck, keyblade wielder Hinata, Zian said with pride. I'm going to resume time in 3, 2, 1. Time restarted and the battle Neji restarted. Like I said before, give. I will never give up and I won't run away again. Hinata yelled proudly, shocking everyone. She then put her hand, took a deep breath and concentrate. In my hand I took a key. So long as I have the makings, then through that simple act of taking, its wielder I shall now be, she said with pride. At that moment a bright light came forth. What is this? Neji wondered. When the light cleared, Hinata's outfit changed. She was now wearing a gray short-sleeved shirt with a lavender sleeveless zipper jacket on, a black choker with a ruby gem. Around her waist was a belt with the symbol of her village with 2 cases on it. A black one on the side and a white one in the back, violet shorts, and black shoes. In her hand was a pure white keyblade, similar to the Kingdom Key keyblade, with the section connecting the blade and handle with a gray and blue rainguard. there is a keychain also showing dangling with the symbol of a white orb. Thank you Zeon, Hinata though. Now Neji. The real battle begins. Woohoo, way to go Hinata. Naruto said cheering in the stands. Hinata then charged into Neji swinging her keyblade. Defend yourself. Neji quickly dodged Hinata's attack with a back flip. During the flip he noticed a cut on his arm. She scratched me, she actually scratched me. Neji though. Neji landed on the ground and rushed into Hinata hitting her hard again. There that should keep her down. This match is over. Neji yelled with a crazed look on his face. Neji started to walk away when he heard Hinata panting. No, it can't be. Hinata was standing breathing heavily. Like I said before, I will never give up. Hinata then lunged her keyblade into the air. Heal. A light green glow covered her body and all her wounds she had disappeared. I knew it. I can use powers like Zeon, I wonder what else I can do now. She though. Her eyes then widened showing another power she can do that Zeon had. Thunder. Zeon yelled. I see, it seems I'm going to learn new powers thanks to Zeon's inheritance. She though. Now's my chance. Neji though. He then charged into Hinata with blinding speed. You're mine now. Hinata snapped her mind back into the fight. Got to wait for him to get closer, she though. Neji rushing in faster than ever. Now. Quickly got behind Neji and once again put her keyblade up to the sky. Thunder. She screamed. What? The area quickly darkened for a second, then a bolt of lighting then came crashing down out of nowhere zapping Neji. Whoa. Naruto said. The pink-haired named Sakura Haruno was stunned at what she just did. How in the world did she do that? Kakashi-sensei. She then turned to look at her sensei, a man in a simple jonin outfit of the village who also had a mask covering his face with white hair and his headband covering his right eye. I don't know, Kakashi said with an amazed look on his face. Neji was on the ground struggling to get up. How is this possible? I was supposed to win this battle. He glared straight at Hinata and started to rush into her once more. Hinata quickly dodged his attack by getting behind him, only this time she was crouched down. Take this. Hinata then kicked Neji into the air, she then rushed into the air above him. Axe slam. Hinata then sent all the force to her keyblade and hit Neji in the stomach and pushed with all her might, bring Neji and herself into the ground causing a large mass of smoke to appear. Hinata then back flipped out of the smoke, revealing she was alright. As the smoke cleared the area showed Neji in a crater, coughing heavily, I can't move, he then fell into unconscious. The proctor Hayate Gecko walked up to Neji coughing. Well it seems like he is unable to continue so the winner is Hinata Hyuga. Hayate announced. The crowd was silent for a second when. Woohoo! Hinata you did it you won. Naruto cheered. He and the other rookie genin of Konoha 11, Shino Aburame, Choji Akamichi, Sakura Haruno, Rock Lee, Shikamaru Nara and Ino Yamanaka all came down from the stands to congratulate Hinata on her victory. I was really impressed. Shino commented. Man, that was incredible. Exclaimed Choji. But how could you have beaten my rival before me? Lee complained tearing at the eyes. Man this is all such a drag, even you are getting stronger, Shikamaru said with a depressed look on his face. You really surprised us all there. Ino complimented. Thank you everyone. She then walked up to Naruto and gave him a hug. But I couldn't have done it without you, Naruto. Everyone then gazed at Naruto with a sarcastic smile. What are you all looking at? Naruto said blushing a bit. Oh, sorry Naruto. She then let go of him blushing. Alright, that's enough people we have to get ready for the next match but first, someone get the medics for Neji. Hayate said still coughing. The medics came and put Neji on the stretcher to carry him off to the hospital. The darkness around Neji is gone for now. I hope nothing bad happens to him. She though with a serious look on her face. At Konoha Hospital, a week after the preliminaries. Geez my head. Said a long-haired boy with sharp teeth and red fang marks on his face. Ah, Kiba, you're awake. Don't worry about Akamaru, he is just fine, said a medical nin. Dang, Naruto got me good in our match. Wait, Hinata. What happened to her match? Just then, Shino and Hinata walked into Kiba's room. Kiba turned his head to see them. Hello, Kiba, Hinata said with a smile. It seems you awaken, Shino mentioned. Kiba then stared at Hinata's outfit for a second. What happened to you? Well, let me explain what happened, Shino said. After a couple of minutes of explaining what happened in her match, Kiba got an awestruck look on his face. Wow, so you actually beat Neji. Incredible. Hinata, show him your blade you now have, Shino said. Okay. She then put her hand, took a deep breath and concentrate, and after a small flash of light from her hand, her keyblade appeared. Kiba whistled. Impressive. So this helped you beat Neji, huh? Yes. Meanwhile, in Neji's room, Neji is sitting on his bed, angry that he lost his match to Hinata. It must be terrible losing to one of the people you hate, a sinister voice said. What? Who's there? Show yourself, Neji demanded. Behind you. Neji quickly glanced behind him, seeing what looks like a man in a brown robe. Who are you? No one special, just some want to help. What do you mean? In your heart there is darkness. If you release the darkness, you can gain incredible power. I can unlock it for you. Why should I trust you? If you want to beat the one who beat you, then you should trust me, and I will also free you from your bird cage seal. Neji looked away for a minute to think. What should I do? Should I trust him? The man in the brown robe waited for his reply for an hour. Well, what is your choice? Neji then looked up at him with an evil smile on his mouth. Sure, why not? Good. Then follow me. The brown-robed man then opened a dark portal that looked endless. He then walked in with Neji following him, and the portal closed behind him. Hinata and Shino are walking through the village. It's the middle of the night and the village itself is like a festival. A month of training, all for this, Hinata said. Indeed. You think you're ready? Shino said. Yes. Good. Hinata's smiling face turned into a frown. A lot has happened. I actually beat Neji. I'm going to the chunin exam final rounds, but now Neji's disappeared. Hinata thought. Well, I got to go for some last-minute training. See you at the exams. Shino said. Bye. Shino then disappears in a puff of smoke. What should I do now? She then spots Naruto looking depressed. Naruto. Blushing, she goes over to him. Huh. Hey Hinata. Naruto seeing her. The two start to walk together through the village while Hinata was making sure not to faint. So how's your training going? Rough, but I learned some great new jutsu. How about you? Ready for the finals tomorrow? I think so. Are you ready? I don't know, the rest of the competition looks really strong. But I'm not going to give up no matter what. Well, if you won't give up, then neither will I, Hinata said with a smile on her face. By the way, Hinata, what? Is it true what Sakura said, that you are always watching me? Hinata starts to blush. Well, you see, it's alright. Huh, you're a nice person, you care for other before yourself, and you never give up no matter what. Thank you, Naruto. Well, I got to get going. I got to get a good night's sleep for the finals tomorrow. I should be heading in too. See you at the finals. Yeah, I'll definitely see you there, believe it. Naruto and Hinata rush home to rest for tomorrow competition. Meanwhile, in the shadows of the night, two figures emerge from the darkness. One of them is a tall man with very tan skin with amber orange eyes and white long hair, who is wearing silver white gloves on his hand. There is a black pauldron on both of his shoulders that are both attached to his coat by two straps, also wearing black pants and black, silver-lined, knee-high boots. The other is what appears to be a boy in a dark greenish-yellow organic-looking bodysuit, also wearing a silver helmet with a dark glass cover hiding his face. So Nexus, are you ready to prove your strength? Yes, Master Ansem. Soon I will consume all the powers of this world. He then puts his hand out and out of the dark energy comes a dark green and yellow keyblade. Soon they will all be destroyed. Nexus then starts to laugh manically. Thank you for coming to the Hidden Leaf Chunin selection exams. The third Hokage said proudly. We will now start the main tournament matches between the 8 participants who made it through the preliminaries. Please stay and watch until the end. There's something I like to tell you before you start your matches, said the proctor known as Genma Shiranui. He then pulls out a piece of paper with a tournament bracket on it. There have been some minor changes to the tournament, check once again to see who you're fighting. Hinata and Naruto then gasped at what they see. What? I have to fight Naruto. Hinata though. Oh come on, you got to be kidding me, I don't want to fight Hinata. Naruto though. And what's worse, in the first round. They both though in unison. Alright guys, this is the final test. The arena is different but the rules are the same as the prelims, there are none. You acknowledges defeat, but if I determine that the fight is over, I'll step in and stop it, you got that? Everyone just stood there. Right then, the first match is between Naruto Uzumaki and Hinata Hyuga. You two stay here, while the rest of you go to the waiting room. All the other competitors left the arena leaving Hinata and Naruto in the center of the stadium. Hee. Well I guess this is it Hinata, get ready. Naruto said smiling then gets into his battle stance. Yes I'm ready to go. Hinata also said smiling then gets into her battle stance summoning out her keyblade extending her keyblade out and holding it one-handed. Now the first fight. Begin. Hinata eyes widen when she then senses a presence and then starts to look around. Hey Hinata what's wrong? Hinata then looks at the sun and sees a dark figure coming downward over Naruto. As it gets closer she sees the person behind Naruto. Naruto watch out. What? Too late. Nexus said calmly. He then backhands Naruto knocking him unconscious. Fool. The crowd just stood there and couldn't understand what happened wide-eyed. Naruto. Sakura screamed, tearing in the stand. What the hell just happened? Who the heck is that? Ino said. Hey who the heck are you and what are you doing here? Genma demand. Nexus looked over to Genma direction. Shut up. This doesn't involve you. This involve me and the keyblade wielder. He then stared in the direction of Hinata who had an angry look on her face. Proctor, take Naruto and get him fixed up. I will handle this. But, just do it. Genma then got Naruto's unconscious body and took him out of the stadium leaving Hinata and Nexus in the arena. Who are you? Why I'm your worst nightmare. Call me Nexus. Let's start the real battle. What? Nexus then slammed his hands on the ground and instantly a dark barrier covered the stadium so no one can interfere. What's going on? The third Hokage said. Why it's that simple. Said a voice from nowhere. What who's there? Show yourself. A dark portal then opened in the middle of the air in front of the air. A figure appeared out of the portal. Oh, and by the way Orochimaru my apprentice down there has already killed your forces for the invasion of the Leaf Village. The figure then looked at Cage. The figure then grabbed the Cage and ripped off his disguise revealing to be Orochimaru, he then threw him into the dark portal. Damn you, whoever you are. Orochimaru screamed as he fell into the portal. The third Hokage just stood there awestruck. Why? The figure then turned to the Hokage and impaled him right through the chest with his hand then pulled it out revealing the blood on the figure's hand. Old crackpot. Back at the arena. It seems that Master Ansem has killed your beloved Hokage. What? It can't be. Enough talk. We fight now. Nexus screamed charging at Hinata with his fist. Hinata and Nexus both charged at each other at full force, clashing blow for blow with no chance of letting up. The daimyos in the stand are impressed with the fight between Hinata and Nexus, wondering who Nexus is under the mask. This is getting boring, let's make it more interesting. Nexus demand. What? Hinata exclaimed. Nexus then put out his hand and from darkness energy came a dark green and yellow keyblade. No. How do you have a keyblade? You thought there were just keyblade wielders of light. Wrong. I'm a keyblade wielder of darkness. Nexus then started to laugh hysterically. Now show me the power of the useless light. Nexus then charged into Hinata. Once again they started exchanging blow for blow. In the stands Sakura and Ino were rushing on their way to the infirmary where Naruto was. So, why are we going to Naruto again? Ino harshly asked. Did you see what that guy did to him? Besides, aren't I allowed to be worried about him? He is my teammate. Sakura explained. Whatever you say, billboard brow. Ino said sarcastically. What did you say, Ino pig? Sakura said in a fit of rage. Grr, you're really annoying. Ino screamed. When they got to the infirmary, they both see Naruto resting in bed peacefully. Inside Naruto's conscious, Naruto was staring right into the face of the demon inside of him, the nine-tailed fox. How pitiful, said the fox demon. What is? Asked Naruto. That you easily got knocked out. Shut up. It was a surprise attack. It came out of nowhere until Hinata sensed it. Then why don't you wake up and take him down? Geez, you're annoying as all hell. Naruto then woke up in front of Sakura and Ino, both having a glad look on their faces. Back at the arena, the battling between Hinata and Nexus was still going on. Gah! Hinata cried out. Nexus delivered a nasty blow that sent Hinata into the wall of the arena. Nexus then rushed into her and grabbed her neck, starting to choke her. You see how powerless your light is, the difference in power between us is beyond measurements. You and that hopeless fool Naruto are nothing compared to me, once a loser always a loser. Nexus explained. Shut up, Hinata whispered. What? I said shut up. You know nothing about me or Naruto, so don't even talk about us that way. You tell him, Hinata. A voice in the distance cried out. What? Who's there? Nexus demanded. Nexus started to look into the stand to find the source of the voice. Up here, you jack. Nexus then looked above him, and in the stands was the number 1 hyperactive knucklehead ninja, Naruto Uzumaki. You know that really hurt, ya jerk. Hey Hinata, are you going to let this jerk beat you? Hinata then took a deep breath and smiled. No, I'm not going to lose. I can't lose this battle against the darkness. Shut up and mind your own business, you moron. This is between me and Hinata, and I'm not going to let you ruin my triumphing moment. Nexus screamed. A dark aura then started to form around Nexus. He then pointed his keyblade at Naruto. Dark Faraga, he screamed. A ball of a dark flame started to head towards Naruto. Naruto, Hinata cried. She stared to struggle to get out of Nexus's grip. She decided to use her Byakugan on Nexus, and she attacked using her palm and hit his chest. Gah! Screamed Nexus. Hinata then kicked Nexus in the gut and broke free of his grip. She then got to Naruto before the Dark Faraga got to him and protected him. Phew! Made it in time. Insolent fool, you think your light is stronger than my darkness? Well, you're wrong. I'll show you the true powers of darkness. Nexus manically said. He then starts to charge his dark powers and his keyblade's aura starts to grow. This is the true power of darkness, right, Master Ansem? A corridor of darkness then opens and Ansem come out. So you're the one who killed the Hokage? Hinata explained. Yes, I am, the crackpot old fool. Filled with light. You fools know nothing. In one's heart there is darkness. Darkness sprouts within it. It grows, consumes it. Such is its nature. In the end, every heart returns to the darkness whence it came. You see, darkness is the heart's true essence. What a bunch of crap! Screamed Naruto. He's right, Hinata said. You think darkness is a part of the heart. Well, guess what? It's not. It only appears in the hearts as evil as yours. Light is the true essence of the heart. How dare you? Screamed Nexus. You know she's right, Ansem, said a voice in the distance. What? Suddenly in front of Hinata, a corridor of light appeared in front of, and out came a young girl in a black leather hooded coat. She then took off her hood, revealing a black short-haired girl. No way. Xian, Hinata said. Yup. Xian replied. BB, but how? I'll explain later. Zian then walks up to Ansem. Idiot. Like I said, it's not true. The heart may be weak and sometimes it may give in. But even I know that there's a light that never goes out no matter what happens. She explained to Ansem. She right, Ansem, said Hinata. Hinata then started to concentrate and a light glow appeared around her. The darkness will never consume us. She then charged into Ansem. Master! Screamed Nexus. He then went to Ansem and blocked Hinata's attack with his body. The mask then starts to crack. Nexus's mask started crack but it only revealed his mouth. Gah! Nexus screamed. You'll pay for that. Nexus then starts to charge into Hinata. Nexus stop. Ansem screamed. Nexus quickly obeyed his master's command with a disgust look on his face. Suddenly a gust of wind blows in with multiple leaves flying everywhere in a tornado. When the wind and leaves clear there are two figures, one being Kakashi and the other being Sasuke Uchiha. Yo! Kakashi said. He then started to look around and sees Ansem and Nexus. Huh, what the? Did we miss something? Naruto and Sakura in the just stood there with their eyes twitching and Naruto had a pissed off look on his face. Where the hell have you been, Kakashi-sensei? Do you even know what's been going on? Naruto screamed. What do you mean, Naruto? Sasuke asked. That guy there, the one with the tan skin and orange eyes. He killed the Hokage. What? Kakashi and Sasuke exclaimed in unison. Nexus, we're leaving. Ansem explained. No disrespect, master, but why? I can take on these pathetic weaklings. Nexus said. Ansem then opened a corridor of darkness. We didn't come to fight a full-scale battle, we retreat for now. He then looks at Hinata. We'll come for you again, but next time you won't be so lucky. The ground then starts to shake strongly. What's happening? Zian. Hinata asked. I don't know, but it feels like it is something big. Zian said. This is an interesting development. Ansem said. Guess he couldn't handle the powers of darkness. Nexus said. What do you mean? Zian asked. Ha 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 ha. This power. Ultimate power. It's mine. A voice screamed within the corridor. Impressive. I never thought he would be able to control the powers of darkness. Ansem said with a surprised look on his face. That laugh. It couldn't be. Kakashi exclaimed. The ground shaking became even stronger and stronger. The laughing continued until a giant 100-foot-long white-winged snake with a black and red heart-like symbol on the head came out of the corridor and destroyed the barrier covering the stadium. Suddenly Sasuke's curse mark of heaven started to hurt. Gah! Sasuke screamed in pain. Sasuke! Sakura and Ino screamed in unison. What? Gah! I knew it. It's him. Kakashi said, rushing to Sasuke. Ansem and Nexus started to going through the corridor. Hinata then sees them trying to escape. Stop. You're not getting away. Hinata yelled. Then from behind her Zian got in front of her with her keyblade, stopping her from pursuing the two. Zian. Why? Trust me, you don't want to go after them. Zian said. We will be back. Ansem and Nexus said in unison as they both went through the corridor as it disappeared behind them, leaving Hinata and the others to deal with the snake. Grr! Zian said as she turned towards the snake. Dang it! A heartless! Zian screamed. Naruto came down from the stands after the barrier went down and landed next to Zian. Heartless. What the hell's a heartless? Naruto asked. Like I told Hinata, I'll explain everything later, but for now we got to destroy it. Zian said. Hinata, let's go. Right. Ha 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 ha. You think you can destroy me? The Heartless said. Out of the top of the snake head, the torso of a pale white man with long black hair came out. No way. I knew it. Kakashi said with sweat running down his face. What do you mean? Do you know him? Zian asked. Kakashi-sensei. Hinata asked. Yeah, I know him. Orochimaru, S-rank criminal, former Leaf Ninja, a member of the Leaf's legendary Sannin and known killer who uses the bodies for experiments for his search immortality. Kakashi explained. Zian and Hinata looked at each other then back at Kakashi. So, Mainly a sick freak of nature. They said in unison. Basically. Ha ha ha. Unfortunately for you Kakashi, I am no longer Orochimaru. I have rose to an even greater creature. I am now truly immortal. I don't even need the silly power of the Uchiha clan. Ha 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 ha. Orochimaru explained manically. Sasuke looked at Orochimaru with a disgust look on his face. Why you? Don't you dare insult the name Uchiha. Sasuke screamed in a fit of rage. Sakura in the stand stood there clenching her fist in anger at Orochimaru. You asshole. First you gave Sasuke that damn mark on his neck and now you say you don't need him anymore. What did you even need him for? Sakura screamed. I think I can explain that. A voice said. What? In a puff of smoke, a white-hair man appeared on a toad in the stadium. Everyone turned and looked at him. Hey Naruto, you gonna take what Orochimaru said about your friend? Hey pervy sage, Naruto exclaimed. Lord Jiraiya, Kakashi said. Who? Xian asked. Another member of the Sannin, but don't worry, he's on our side. Kakashi said. Sorry guys, but I'm not fight this time. Naruto is going to fight this thing that was Orochimaru. Jiraiya explained. What? Everyone screamed. What's the big deal? He didn't get to show his power cause of this happening, so now's a good time. Well, I guess. Alright Sasuke, you too, help Naruto against Orochimaru. I'll go help with the evacuation in case Orochimaru decides to attack the village. Kakashi said. I'll help as well. Kakashi was it. Anyway, Hinata, help your friends. Xian said. Hinata, Naruto, and Sasuke look at their teachers and gave them a simple nod of the head, understanding them. Good. Sakura, Ino, you're with me. Kakashi demanded. Understood. Sakura and Ino said in unison. In a puff of smoke once again the three disappeared. Jiraiya, was it? Xian asked. Yes. Jiraiya responded. We better get out of the area. This is going to get crazy. Good idea. The two then sped out of the arena, leaving only Hinata, Naruto and Sasuke, still in a bit of pain caused by the curse mark, to face Orochimaru. Let's go. Naruto screamed. Right. Hinata and Sasuke said in unison. The three rushed into Orochimaru's monstrous form at full speed. Sasuke did a couple of hand signs. Fire release. Great fireball technique, he then blow out a massive ball of fire that hitting one of Orochimaru's wing. Then he ran up the wall and did some hand signs, Chidori. 1,000 birds, he screamed. He then rushed downward until he got to the ground and then jumped into the air and hitting his other wing. Naruto went to the tail area and did some hand signs as well. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu, he said. Then in a large puff of smoke about 24 clones of Naruto appeared. Are you ready? Said the original Naruto. Yeah, cheered the clones of Naruto. Alright, let's do this. The original said. The clones started to grab onto the tail of Orochimaru tail and started to make more clone of himself. This time there were over 1,000 clones on the tail and the original Naruto on the back of Orochimaru. Sasuke. Hinata. I got on his back. I'll force him to the ground. Once again he made more clone and the weight of all the clone force Orochimaru to the ground. Gah! You little! Screamed Orochimaru. He then fired multiple blasts of energy at both Naruto and Sasuke, hitting them and leaving a crater. He then realized multiply snakes into the ground that pop out of the ground hitting everyone. Gah! Damn you! Sasuke screamed. Darn it! This guy is tough. Naruto said. I won't give up. Hinata screamed. Hinata then got onto the head of the beast once known as Orochimaru. Keyblade in hand, she started to constantly hit Orochimaru's upper torso. Hinata knew some new powers that she wanted to use but couldn't before, but now was a good time. She then pointed the head of the Keyblade at Orochimaru. Freeze! She screamed. A single shot of ice came out of her Keyblade and hit her target, freezing it. Naruto. Sasuke. We got to attack all together now. Okay. Naruto and Sasuke said in unison. The three rejoined together to get ready for one final strike on Orochimaru. The three then rushed into Orochimaru with full force. This is for accepting the darkness. Hinata said. You'll pay for insulting my friends. Screamed Naruto. How ironic. The one who cursed me with his mark will now be destroyed by my hands. Sasuke said in a calm voice. Hinata's keyblade started to glow and Hinata's eyes widen again, showing her a new power. The image show a boy lunging his keyblade into the ground and a circle of life appearing. She got back to normal as quickly as possible. I understand. Thank you whoever you are. Hinata then sped past Naruto and Sasuke and jumped into air as she also started to glow right over Orochimaru. This is the end of you. Orochimaru. Trinity limit. Hinata then lunged the top of her keyblade into Orochimaru's head. As soon as it hit him, a beautiful pattern of light appeared right above Orochimaru's head. I have obtained the ultimate power and think I was destroyed by 3 worthless genin. Enjoy your victory while you can. I will return someday even stronger than ever. Orochimaru screamed. A beautiful crystal heart came out of Orochimaru's snake body and the heart flies away. The body then disintegrates until it was like Orochimaru wasn't there. Hinata, Naruto, and Sasuke were all exhausted and constantly panting from the fight when they heard clapping. When they turned around they saw Kakashi, Zen and Jiraiya in the stands. Naruto then gave a thumbs up to them. Hinata smiled gently, and Sasuke turned around and put his fist in the air with a small but noticeable grin. Zen, Kakashi and Jiraiya came down from the stands to congratulate them. Now that is what I call an intense battle. That my pupil for ya. Jiraiya exclaimed. Impressive. You three showed a great results of your training. Kakashi complimented. You were all great. Even though 2 of you weren't keyblade wielders, you all put up a great fight. Zen said with a smile. Now then on to other business. Kakashi said staring at Zen. I know. I got some explaining to do and stuff, but we don't have to do it here. You're right. You better explain to us what all of this is about. Meanwhile in the forest away from Konoha, Kabuto Yakushi and the Sound 4 are returning to Otogakure when they are stopped by a man in a snake skin hooded coat. Who are you? Said the one with 4 arms. He. A friend. Said the man in a snake skin hooded coat with a familiar voice. After the attack on Konoha from both Ansem Nexus, Orochimaru's Heartless, and Gaara, who had a similar childhood to Naruto, it's now raining and everyone except Zen and Jiraiya was wearing black for the 3rd Hokage funeral with a flower for him. Hinata and Naruto went to gravestone and placed their flower on it, tearing a bit. Iruka-sensei, what are human? Is life just that simple? Naruto asked. His and Hinata's teacher stared at both of them, explaining that it's human nature, that it's the way humans are. Hinata and Naruto then smile at their teacher, agreeing with him. The rain starts to clear and sun starts to shine. Naruto then runs off with the rest of Team 7 while Hinata goes to Zen. I'm sorry for what happened to your Hokage. I feel like it was my fault. Zen said. It's not your fault. I should have been more prepared for the attack Ansem and Nexus planned. Hinata said. But an innocent man got killed because of Ansem. I couldn't. I should have. Hinata then slapped Zen across the face, then hugged her. It's okay. It's not your fault. It was the powers of darkness' fault. Hinata then started to tear again. I need to become stronger against the darkness. Hinata then let Zen go. Kakashi then came over to Hinata and Zen. So Zen, I'm going to ask you 2 to come with me. Kakashi said. Zen then turned towards Kakashi. I understand me. But why Hinata as well? Zen asked. I heard from Naruto that Hinata knew you before you first appeared, so I got some questions for her too. Kakashi explained. Well, if you say so. Hinata said. Good. We will meet at the training ground. Alright. Hinata, can you show me the way there? Zen asked. Okay. Hinata said. The scene changes the training field. Naruto, Sasuke, Sakura, Kakashi, Jiraiya, and the rest of Konoha 11, except Kiba and Shino because of family business, were all there waiting for Hinata and Zeon. Then in a puff of smoke Hinata and Zeon appear in front of them. Great, we are all here. I guess you should properly introduce yourself. Yeah, Zeon said. Ahem. My name is Zeon. Well, this may sound difficult to believe, but I'm from another world. Everyone looked at her with a dumbfounded look on their face. I know it's hard to believe, but it's true. Anyway, Hinata, the reason I look the same as I first met you all those years ago was because strangely time flows differently in each of our worlds. So that explains why you're the same age as I first met you. Hinata said. Truth is, I really don't have a world anymore, because I originally didn't exist. I once was a nobody. What do you mean a nobody? You look like a normal person to us. Naruto asked. Naruto, you asked about what the heartless were. Well, the heartless are creature of darkness represented by that symbol we all saw on Orochimaru. Ansem has control over the heartless and he makes them do his bidding. They eat hearts, not the physical heart but a heart like the one Orochimaru released after you three destroyed him. Oh, but what does that have to do with you being a nobody? Well, nobodies are different. You see, when a person with a strong heart, either good or evil, becomes a heartless, the empty shell of the body remains behind and takes on a life of its own. It's an empty vessel, but they truly don't exist at all. Zeon then starts to get depressed a bit. Oh, so that's what you meant. But you said you were, once, a nobody, so what happened? Sakura asked. Zeon then took a deep breath. Well, it's a long story, but I guess you guys should know what I went through. Zeon then used some of her magic to create a dome around everyone. I'm going to be showing you my memories and the stuff I went through. Zeon explained. Well, explain away. Kakashi said. Yeah, we got all the time we need. Jiraiya said. Zeon then started to show them multiple different memories. Memories of her time in Organization 13. So who are those guys in the black cloaks like yours? Naruto asked. Yeah, these guys look sinister. Sasuke said. They're nobodies as well. They're like Ansem, they control the lesser nobodies. These guys were a group called Organization 13, I was the unconsidered 14th member. Their leader was the nobody of a man named Xenoheart, the original form of the Ansem everyone here met and the nobody's leader. I only had 2 friends while I was there. Her memories then shows her time at the clock tower with Roxas and Axel. She then starts to tear a bit. These guys were them, their names were Roxas and Axel, my best friends. What happened to them? Did they die or something? Naruto asked. Idiot. No one asks a question like that. This is an emotional time for her. Sakura said, hitting Naruto on the head. It's alright, we were nobodies at the time, so we didn't die but fade away. I was different. I was originally created as a replica keyblade wielder for the organization. Roxas went back to his original form and Axel, it's too tough to say. We don't have to worry about the organization. Before I came back, the true keyblade wielder defeated all of them except the leader, but I think the leader was defeated by him. Her memories then showed Sora and his friends fighting and defeating the remaining members of Organization 13. Hinata's eyes widened when she saw Sora. That boy, he's the one that I saw using Trinity Limit. Yes, this boy is who Roxas was before an incident. What incident? Kakashi asked. Zeon's memories then show Sora, younger, releasing his and Kairi's heart from his body. I see, so he released his heart to save that girl. Kakashi then looks at Zeon. That girl looks like you. Yeah, another incident caused Sora having to go to sleep for a year to regain his memories he lost, so he doesn't remember the incident though. Unfortunately, his strongest memories, which were about Kairi, went into me giving me a physical look as what you all see. So was this girl like this Sora guy girlfriend or something? Naruto asked. Zeon started to blush a bit. Baka. Once again, don't ask a question like that. Sakura yelled, hitting Naruto on the head again. Well, it's hard to say, but Sora really cares for Kairi and she was kidnapped a couple of times. Zeon said, still blushing. Her memories then show Sora and his friends at the castle that never was, with Ansem the Wise and the Kingdom Hearts encoder. It then shows the machine exploding and Xian is then blasted away to a lower floor of the castle. That man with the blonde beard was the real Ansem. Xenohort's Heartless took his name for himself and ruined it. So what was the heart-shaped moon about? Sakura asked. That was Kingdom Hearts, it's what the organization what to achieve. Xemnas said that the organization members would become whole if they complete. Kingdom Hearts is said to hold immense power, knowledge and wisdom. Ansem the Wise tried to encode it into data, but it exploded. So the machine exploded and gave you a separate body and heart. Jiraiya said. Yeah, it was unexpected to me. But it also brought Xehanort's Heartless back as well. You've already met him, although he never had an apprentice before. Quote. Wait. Okay, let me get this straight. Some guy named Xehanort became a heartless and nobody. The Heartless him was named Ansem and controlled the lesser Heartless, and his nobody named Xemnas became leader of the lesser nobodies. So why would Ansem come here? I wish I knew Naruto. I wish I knew. I sensed him after was unconscious for a while and followed him here. Xian said. She then lowered the dome around everyone. Well, that was everything I had to tell you all. Thank you for listening. No problem, we're all friends here. Naruto said. It was nice properly meeting you. Sakura said, bowing her head. Whatever, I came here because I wanted to learn more about that Ansem guy. Sasuke said with a smirk attitude. I've gotten some great information out of this, I'll tell the elders about this. Kakashi said. He then disappeared in a puff of smoke. Well, I'll see you guys later. I got some research, to do at the bathhouse. See ya, Jiraiya said. He also then disappeared in a puff of smoke. Soon Xian was being shown around Konoha by Xian, Naruto, Sasuke and Sakura. Wow, this village is just as big as Twilight Town, people in the village all look nice, and even the food smells good. Xian said. Drool then started to appear on the side of lip. Hinata then started to giggle. Xian, you're drooling. Oops, sorry about that. Xian said with a smile on his face. Everyone but Sasuke then started to laugh, and Xian then started to blush until she was bright red. I am a bit hungry, how about you guys? Naruto asked. His stomach started to growl. Sure Naruto. Hinata said timidly. Why not? Sakura said. Whatever, Sasuke said. Soon the five were at Ichiraku Ramen. Thank you for the food. The five said. Naruto then started slurping up the ramen instantly. Don't worry guys, I'll pay. He then took out a frog wallet that looked like it was about to burst. Wah, Naruto, where did you get all that money? Sakura asked with a surprised look on her face. Naruto started to giggle. Well, this is what I get for saving my money. Impressive idiot, Sasuke said with sarcastic tone. After the five finished their ramen, Sakura suggested to get some ice cream. Everyone agreed excepted Sasuke, who said he had to leave. Naruto, Hinata, Sakura and Xian all then got some ice cream. Feels just like old times. Xian said, eating her ice cream. Thank you for treating me for the day. It was nothing. Naruto said. Why yes, it was nice. I mean, we are all friends here. Hinata said. Yeah, it's true, we are friends. Sakura said, smiling. Kakashi then appeared in front of them in a puff of smoke. Yo. Hey Kakashi-sensei, what's going on? Naruto said. Well, I told the elders the information and they said they were able to prepare an apartment for Xian. Really? That great. Xian, you're going to be living in the village with all of us. Sakura said. Yeah, Xian said with a smile on her face as she looked at the stars. A new life begins now. Time jumped to after Itachi and Sasuke incident. Also during the time where Naruto and Jiraiya are looking for Lady Tsunade. Xian was already explained most of things about Hinata's world, chakra, ninjutsu, etc. Hinata and Xian are at the training field. Xian has decided to prepare Hinata for any upcoming threats, so she decided to train Hinata and teach her some skills that she knows and used. There are multiple wooden statues to show a demonstration. Are you sure about this, Xian? Hinata asked. Yes, Hinata. It's time I teach you some of the techniques I know as a keyblade wielder. Xian explained. Xian then took a deep breath and concentrated. The first move I will teach you is called Ragnarok. It will send a light barrage of physical attacks with the keyblade itself, and then you will get to fire rays of energy in a circular position that will home into multiple enemies. She explained. She then looked at one of the statues. I will now demonstrate it. I would stand back. Hinata then backed away from Xian as she demonstrate Ragnarok. Xian started to glow a bit in front of the statue. She then started to attack the statue with 3 attacks. Then she stepped back and jumped into the air and pointed her keyblade at the statues. Multiple balls of light appeared around her keyblade and were fired from it, with all the little balls of light hitting the statue, eventually destroying it. Hinata was amazed at what she saw Xian do. Whoa. Do you really think I will be able to do that? Hinata asked. Yes, I believe you can. We must train and get stronger to fight any threat. Like Ansem and Nexus. Nexus. I won't lose to him again. Not after what he did to Naruto. Hinata though. Xian looks at Hinata, who has a determined look on her face. Now let's start. Hinata, concentrate, look into yourself, take a deep breath, and calm down. Hinata looked back at Xian. I understand. Hinata then for a week started to practice trying to do Ragnarok. She has been gasping for breath under the hard training. Xian had been watching her training the entire time without sleep. One more time, Hinata said. This time she finally executed Ragnarok, but it was a bit different. Mainly the balls of light looked more like blue chakra. I did it. I actually did it. I master Ragnarok. Xian. Hinata then looked at Xian, who fell asleep, and she couldn't help but giggle. The next morning, Xian woke up with a giant yawn with a dazed look on her face. Must have dozed off. Xian looked around and realized she was still at the training field. Hey Xian, a voice said in the distance. Xian turns around and sees Hinata running towards her, all dirty and sweaty from training. I did it. I actually did it. Hinata cheered. You actually did Ragnarok? Xian asked with a surprised look on her face. Yeah, let me show you. Hinata said. She demonstrated her Ragnarok on the last remaining wooden statue. Her keyblade started to glow. She then did a 3-light slash on it. Then she backflipped and hovered in the air, and multiple balls of what looked like blue flames, which surprised Xian. Hinata then fired them at the statue, destroying it in the matter of seconds. Impressive, but why did the balls of energy look like blue flames? Xian asked. I wondered about that at first, but then I realized that the blue flames were my chakra that took on a solid form. Either way, I still mastered my own version of Ragnarok. Oh, after I master it, I practice my taijutsu and created my own style of the 8 trigrams 64 palms. She then put her keyblade away and showed Xian protection of the 8 trigrams 64 palms. She then emitted a constant stream of chakra from her palms, creating extremely sharp chakra blades. Her natural flexibility made her arms look like they disappeared when really they were moving really fast, forming a barrier around her. Xian stood there amazed with what she saw, with an impressed look on her face. She then started to clap for Hinata when she finished. Congratulations, Xian said, complimenting Hinata. Why, thank you, Xian. Let's head back to the village. I'm starting to get hungry. Xian's stomach starts to growl. She then starts to blush. Yeah, I'm starting to get hungry as well. She then smiled at Hinata. When they got back to the village, Hinata noticed Naruto, who had some bruises on him, with Jiraiya with 2 women and a pig. One of the women had beautiful blonde hair with a diamond on her forehead, with a great pair of, wearing green robe with a gray kimono style blouse and wearing dark bluish gray pants. The other woman was a black-haired woman in a bluish kimono. Naruto then looked over and saw Hinata and Xian. Hey Hinata, hey Xian, he yelled as he rushed over to them. Why hello Naruto. Zien said. Hi-n Naruto. Hinata timidly said blushing. Hey Naruto, come on, we got to bring Tsunade here to the Hokage's tower, you can catch up with your girlfriend later. Jiraiya said. Naruto then started to blush. Pervy old man, he muttered. He looked at Hinata who was bright red after what Jiraiya said. Well, I guess I'll going. Naruto said still blushing, he then ran off to catch up with Jiraiya. Zien started to giggle. That Jiraiya, always making silly comments. Shida looked at Hinata who was still bright red in the face. Hey, are you alright Hinata? Hinata just stood there motionlessly trying to figure out what just happened. Me and Naruto. Me is his girlfriend, she though. Suddenly she fainted. Hinata. Zien screamed. What was that all about? She though with a confused look on her face. The next day it was announced that the 5th Hokage was finally chosen. After a lot of harsh training from Zien learning new moves, Hinata decided to go home and go to sleep for the night. She was walking past her father who still had the look that was more concerned with other things that depressed Hinata, but she gained some confidence to ignore him. She went to her and went to bed where she couldn't shake the feeling that something bad would happen and she sensed darkness from somewhere. Elsewhere Zien was walking around the village, she already told Tsunade everything and she was still getting used to the village when she also sensed an incredible darkness. No, don't me that Ansem's back. Why? Zien thought. She rushed over to the village gate hiding in a nearby tree where she saw Sasuke with a backpack on. Sasuke. What's he doing here? Don't tell me. She then saw a dark aura around him, she then saw Sakura near him. Sakura. What's she doing here? Get away from him. Sasuke then got behind her and knocked her out, and then placed her on a nearby bench, afterwards he left through the village gate. After he left, Zien went to Sakura and checked on her. Phew, she's alright, unconscious but alright. She then looked in the direction of the village gate. That darkness, where did it come from? Why didn't I sensed it before? Zien thought. Suddenly she sensed the darkness behind her but before she could do anything she was knocked out by Sasuke. Don't meddle with what I want to do, Zien. Sasuke said as he walked out of the village gate again. When Zien regained conscious, she realized it was the early morning the next day. Geez, that hurt. Sakura. She turned to see that Sakura was fine. Soon the two Jonin ninja known as Izumo and Katetsu who were running an errand for Tsunade, when they saw Zien sitting at the bench and Sakura unconscious. Sakura wakes up and tells them about Sasuke leaving for Otogakure but she doesn't know why. When Zien hears this she rushes over to the Hyuga compound to get Hinata. Hinata then appears at the front door. Zien, what are you doing here? What happened? Hinata asked. Zien then explained what happened with her, Sakura and Sasuke. No way. But why? What does he have to gain by going to Otogakure? I don't know. But we better head to Lady Tsunade as fast as possible. Zien said. Alright. Hinata said. The two started to go Tsunade when Hinata starting thinking. Zien, I think I know what's going on, but it's only a theory. What is it? Zien asked. Remember when you told us about the heartless and nobodies? Well, I was thinking, we destroyed Orochimaru's heartless but we never saw his nobody. Zien then started to realize where Hinata was getting at. Darn it, why didn't I think of that earlier? Zien though. But that still doesn't explain why he would want Sasuke. Zien said. I also been thinking of that as well, remember Organization 13? What if Orochimaru's nobody is recruiting Rouge Ninja? If he goes through with it he will create a new Organization 13. No, we must not let him. The two then got to Lady Tsunade and Hinata told her about her theory, which angered her. Well, if this theory is true, then we must not take any chances. Hinata find Shikamaru. I told him to get a team ready to go after Sasuke. I want you to join that team, meet them at the village gate. Zien, I want you to stay here and protect the village with the rest of the remaining ninjas. Now go. Yes, my lady. Hinata said. Of course. Zien said. As soon as the two left the office, Hinata went to join Shikamaru at the village gate, leaving Zion alone. We got to get him back, Zion said, tearing. Hinata rushed to the village gate as fast as she could. Gotta hurry, Hinata thought. When she to the gate, she saw Shikamaru along her fellow teammate Kiba and Akamaru, Choji and Naruto. Hey guys. Sorry I'm late. Hinata. Where were you? I went to the compound to get you but you weren't there. Shikamaru asked. Sorry about that. Zion and Tsunade told me the situation. What's the plan? Shikamaru explained the formation they would be in for this mission. Hinata's role will be to cover their rear from the back in a single line formation. Understood. Let's go, Hinata said. Kiba then looked at Hinata and smiled. You've gained confidence in yourself, thanks to that keyblade. Kiba thought. Sakura then came to get joined the group, but Shikamaru refused. Naruto. I beg you. I couldn't do it. I couldn't stop him. The only person who could probably Sasuke is you. Naruto. Only you. Sakura said, crying. Sakura. You really like Sasuke, huh? Naruto said. I know how much pain you're in because of Sasuke. I can understand. Sakura started to cry even more. Naruto. Thank you. Naruto then gave her a thumbs up. Don't worry. I'll bring him back. Promise of a lifetime. Hey Naruto. You sure you can keep that promise? Kiba asked. Naruto then chuckled a bit. I won't take back my words. That's my ninja way. Let's go. Well, we've wasted quite a bit of time. Let's hurry. The five then left the village to go after Sasuke. Time jumped to after Choji beating Jorubo. Hinata has her Byakugan activated. Phew. What is it, Hinata? It seems that there aren't any traps. They must have all though that we were all killed by that big guy. Damn them. For underestimating us. Naruto screamed. Yeah, but this provide us with the personal opportunity for a counter-attack. Shikamaru explained. Time jumped to after the failed counter-attack. Now Hinata and Kidomaru are alone to battle. Hinata activates her Byakugan. If you want to get my comrades you gonna have to go through me. Hinata said. Well, this might be fun. I'll play with you for 3 minutes and then kill you. Kidomaru said. I better keep the keyblade out of this battle until it's absolutely necessary. Hinata thought. She then got into her Hyuga-style stance. Kidomaru then started to spit multiple webs at Hinata but she easily avoided them all. Come on and fight. What are you, a weakling? A coward. Kidomaru taunted. Hinata then came out of hiding and rushed into him, hitting multiple points on his body leaving him in a crater. Hinata then started to pant heavily and started to bleed when Kidomaru got back up and punched her in the gut revealing the curse mark on his body. Hinata was surprised at the marks she saw on his body and started to calm down. You're strong, but I have no time for you. Hinata said. Kidomaru then did a summoning jutsu, summoning a large spider. Soon he released multiple spider at Hinata. Let's see if you can beat this. Hinata then started the protection of 8 trigrams 64 palms, forming an invincible barrier, stunning Kidomaru. Hinata then smiled. Beat it. Kidomaru then started to get really angry, but strangely he started to laugh. Well, you little bitch, you think those eyes will save you forever, I'll find its weak point. He then disappeared out of sight. Hinata tried to use her Byakugan but she didn't have the time because spiders were coming at her from everywhere, eventually covering her in webs. Hehe. Game over. Kidomaru then went into his second level curse seal and got a bow and arrow ready to kill her. He then fired his arrow. Now die. Kidomaru manically said. Am I going to die? I feel like I'm losing conscious. Hinata said. She thought of everything she went through up this moment. She started to think of Naruto mostly and his will to never give. You're right, Naruto. If you won't give up then neither will I. Hinata said. She then started to glow with a bright light that freed her from the web. She then quickly summoned her keyblade and stopped the arrow with her keyblade. What? That can't be. No one can stop my arrows. Who is this girl? My name is Hinata Hyuga, shinobi of Konoha, and more importantly a keyblade wielder. Hinata proudly said. She then forced the arrow back at Kidomaru. Whoa! Kidomaru quickly dodged his arrow. Hinata then rushed in faster than before into Kidomaru and started to rapidly attack Kidomaru. Gah! Screamed Kidomaru. You're done. Hinata screamed. Time for Ars Arcanum. Hinata thought. Her keyblade started to glow and she rapidly starting to attack even fiercely than before. Now, Ragnarok, she thought. She then did 3 light attacks, then back flipped backwards and multiple ball of chakra then appeared. She then fired them at Kidomaru. Gah! Screamed Kidomaru. All this power. Where did it come from? Kidomaru thought as he fell to the ground. Hinata started to pant even heavier than before, out of breath as she started to walk in the direction of where her comrade were going, until she heard giggling followed with a quick scream of pain. When Hinata turned around, she a web spear almost at face, then she saw Kidomaru's dead body along with Nexus with his keyblade stabbing Kidomaru in the back. What a sore loser. Nexus said sarcastically. She then turned to Hinata. Long time no see. Hinata. What do you want? Hinata demanded. Don't worry, I'm not here to fight, just talk. Nexus explained. Yeah right. A word from my master. We won't come back in 2.5 years. Why? My master wants a decent challenge, so he is giving you the chance to train and stronger than ever. I want you to hate me, to give more a purpose to work harder. You might remember my face. What do you mean? Nexus then removed his mask, shocking and angering Hinata. He was a long-haired boy with eyes like her except it was black around his white pupils. Hinata then clenched her fist in anger. Why? Why would you do this? Neji. She screamed. Power. Pure power. I was weak before this power, then I met Ansem and he gave me this incredible power. Don't you see, Hinata? I chose to do this. Me. Of my own free will. So get over it, you failure. Neji, Nexus demanded. He then opened a corridor of darkness. Goodbye, and remember what I told you. Failure. He then went through the portal and it closed behind him. Hinata just stood there, angry until she fainted and lost consciousness. Neji. Hinata screamed as she woke up. She then started to look around as she noticed that she wasn't in the forest with Kidomaru's dead body. Am I at the hospital? She then realized that she wasn't in here clothes but a single hospital gown. She also noticed the door close to her and on the other side was a curtain separating her from someone on the other side. All she was able to see on the other side was a silhouette of what looked like an average-sized boy sitting upward. Hello. Is anyone there? Hinata. Is that you? The silhouette said. The silhouette then moved the curtain revealing to be Naruto all covered in bandages that looked like he had a big battle. He then blushed at seeing Hinata in a hospital gown. Wow, I never realized how cute she was before. So you're alright? He asked. Yeah, I'm alright, injured but alright. Hinata said with a depressed look on her face. So, I guess this means that he's gone, right? She asked. Yeah, Sasuke's gone. Naruto said with depressed look on his face. We will get them back, one day because they is our comrade. Them? They? Who else do you mean besides Sasuke? Naruto asked with an exclaimed look on his face. Hinata then got an angered and depressed look on her face. Well, I found Nexus' identity. He appeared before after I beat that spider guy. He took of his mask and, well. Hinata then went over to Naruto's bed. Well, what happened? Did you have to fight him? Naruto asked. No, I didn't have to fight him, but he told me that he and Ansem won't come back in 2.5 years. Why? I mean, I'm glad he and Nexus won't the village for a while, but still, why are they not going to come back? They want me to train and get stronger. They want me to hate them and use my rage to make me want to train. Hinata said, getting angry. It's Neji. Nexus was Neji this entire time. He let himself be consumed by darkness and become Ansem's AP Pentis. He caused all of this. Hinata screamed. Naruto stood there awestruck at what she said. Grr. I can't believe this. I knew Neji was a jerk and all and that we haven't seen in a couple of months. But this. Damn it. Sasuke. Neji, who's next? Naruto said as he started to tear. Hinata also then started to tear at the eye with a depressed look on her face. My cousin. My own cousin. I can't believe he did all this. All for what? Power. Hinata said as she then started to cry. Hinata, don't start crying. We both lost someone important. For me it was a friend, and for you it was family. But we can't let that stop us, maybe we will rescue them. Hinata then looked at Naruto wiping the tears away, revealing a little smile. You're right, if we can save them we will. Then let's make a promise to each other, a promise for the both of us to get stronger and rescue the one we care about. Naruto then puts his pinky finger out. Yeah. Hinata then put her pinky finger out as well and wrapped it around Naruto's. They then started to shake their pinky fingers when Hinata started to hear her heart beating. I'm this close to him, and all I do is touch his pinky finger. There has to be something better I can do to keep my promise. But what? She though while blushing. She then realized her body was getting closer and closer to Naruto without realizing it. Hinata. What are you doing? Naruto asked while blushing. Man, how could I not have realized this sooner? She's been in love with me for who knows how long. I gave the confidence to train hard, I only notice her as a shinobi, and not a girl. I never realized that before, but I will make it up to her. Naruto though as he stared to get closer to Hinata. Their hand changed from holding pinky fingers to holding hands. The two got closer and closer. Their upper bodies then got in even closer. Hinata, he said without hesitation. And Naruto, she said with any regret. The two puckered their lips as they got even closer, neither one of them trying to stop. Soon they passionately kissed each other. After about 3 minutes, their lips separated from each other. Wow, that was just. Wow. Naruto said blushing. You know, that was my first kiss. Hinata said blushing. Well, I'm glad my first kiss, with a girl, was with you, Hinata. Hinata then started to giggle remembering Naruto's first kiss with Sasuke. That's when the two heard a knock on the door. Hey Naruto, you in there? The voice asked. Gah, it's Shikamaru. If he sees us together in this position, he'll get the wrong idea. Naruto whispered. What do we do? Hinata whispered. Hinata, get under the covers. Naruto whispered. Hinata then turned bright red. Are you sure that's a good idea? Have any other idea? Naruto whispers sarcastically, smiling. I guess not. Hinata said with a smile. She then got under the covers with Naruto while he was sitting up pretending to be depressed about Sasuke. Hinata then heard Shikamaru come and Naruto told him what happened between him and Sasuke at the final valley. Sakura and Lady Tsunade came into Naruto and Hinata's room. I'm sorry, Sakura. Naruto said. Why are you apologizing? Sakura said. She then went over to the closed window and opened them. You look really weird. You're just like a mummy, aren't you? I'm sorry. Naruto started to say. Listen, the weather's good today. I opened the curtains, now. Sakura. I'll definitely keep my promise. I said it was a lifetime promise. Hinata under the covers, hearing everything Naruto said to Sakura. She knew that he will keep any promise that he makes no matter what. I am defiantly glad I fell in love with Naruto. Hinata thought. Man, it's getting hot under here, I hope they all leave soon. Hinata then started to feel sleepy as her eye felt heavy all of a sudden as she also started to get sweaty as well. Tired? Maybe if I just shut my eyes for just a second. Hinata though as she fell asleep. After a few minutes. That was a pretty good nap, Hinata said before she realized where she was. It was a dark place, there was water everywhere, multiple doors by her and there were pipes on the ceiling. Where in the world am I? Hinata thought. She suddenly heard a growl coming from one of the rooms. What was that? Hinata said. She started to walk toward the source of the growl, as it got louder and louder as she felt an powerful presence. This presence, what is it? Hinata thought. She went through one of the doorways, seeing a light at the end of the hallway. At the end of the hallway. What is this? Hinata thought. She saw what looked like a large gate with a seal in the middle of it. Hinata then started to get even closer when two blood-red eyes and sharp teeth appear inside the gate with an ominous red glow. Interesting, I never expected to see you in the boy's body, said the thing behind the gate. Who are you? Hinata asked. Oh man, this feeling, it's so powerful. Wait, it said, the boy's body, what boy? Hinata thought. She then remembered that she fell asleep in Naruto's bed from the heat being under the covers. She then realized where she was. I'm in Naruto's body. Hinata asked the figure behind the gate while turning away. Yes and no. You're not actually inside his body, but his subconscious. It's strange because usually only he is able to come in here. Hinata then turned back to the figure. Who are you? And what are you doing in Naruto's body? Answer. Hinata demanded. The figure then started to chuckle. Don't worry little girl, I won't hurt the boy, beside I can't with this damn seal on. Then tell me, who are you? I can explain that Hinata. A voice in the distance said. Hinata then heard footsteps coming in. It revealed to be Naruto Uzumaki with a serious look on his face. Naruto. What's going on? Do you know who this is? Yeah, I know what this is. Unfortunately, this guy was the reason I was an outcast to the entire village. Naruto then went to Hinata and whispered, this is the nine-tailed fox demon. Hinata's eyes widen at what he told her and look at the gate. But in class, they told us the demon was destroyed. The fox started to chuckle again. Well, I guess you shouldn't believe everything you hear. What really happened was that the fourth Hokage did a sealing jutsu that sacrificed his own life and sealed me into a newborn baby. That baby was this boy right here. Naruto Uzumaki. The fox explained. So all this time, the reason you were an outcast. It was caused by this demon trapped inside, and you're the jailer. Hinata said. Yeah, I'm sorry I never told you, I recently found out myself. Naruto said. Hinata then rushed up to him and hugged him. I should be the one apologizing, you went through this pain and no one helped you. Hinata said as she started to cry and lowered her head. Naruto then picked up Hinata's head, wiping away the tears on his face and kissed her on the lips for a second and let her go. It's alright. He then wrapped his hands around her, hugging her both with their eyes closed. When the two reopened their eyes, they realized that they were back in the hospital. Hinata then came out from the covers. Looks like we're back, Hinata said, panting from the heat. Yeah, although truth is we really never left in the first place. Naruto said. The two then started to laugh a bit. Listen Hinata, there is something need to ask you. Naruto said with a serious look on his face. I think I know. You don't want me to tell anyone about the nine-tailed fox, right? Yeah, I think it would be easier if the others find out on their own. I understand. Naruto then went over to Hinata and kissed her again, holding her hand. Well, it looks you two are getting along quite nicely, a voice said. The two quickly stopped kissing and turned their heads to see Jiraiya smiling and Tsunade with a surprised look on her in the room. The two let go of each other's hand, the two were then blushing. So how long have you two been together? Well, Jiraiya asked with a perverted tone in his voice. Well, Naruto started to stagger as he was blushing. Tsunade started to giggle a bit at this happening. Don't worry you two, we won't tell. The two then gave a sigh of relief. Thanks Grandma Tsunade. Naruto said. Why yes, we really appreciate this. Hinata said, bowing her head. No problem. Naruto, Jiraiya has something to talk to about. Hinata, Xian also has something to talk to you about as well. I'll need you to get dressed and follow me. Your clothes back on your bed. Jiraiya, don't even think about peeping while she's changing. Tsunade said. Jiraiya then got a depressed look on his face while Naruto glared at him. Don't worry grandma, I'll make sure he doesn't look. After a few minutes, Hinata was fully changed into clothes and in the lobby of the hospital. I wonder what Zien wants to tell me. Hinata wondered. Hinata was walking through the hospital to the main lobby to see Zien with Tsunade with her. So, you wondering about what Zien wants to talk to you about? Tsunade asked. Hinata turned her head and gave her a simple nod. Of course I am. At the lobby Hinata sees Zien at a bench near the entrance of the hospital. Hinata goes up to her with a depressed look on her face. Hey Zien, you wanted to talk to me about something? Yeah, I suggest you follow me. Zien said with a serious look on her face. Zien then started to leave the hospital with Hinata quickly following her. I'll see you later my lady. Hinata said to Tsunade. Alright, I'll be at my office if you need me. Tsunade said as she watched her leave. The scenery changes to the top of the Hokage monument. Zien was standing at the edge with Hinata a few feet behind. The sky was a bright amber color because the sun was setting. So, Sasuke gone? Zien said with a depressed look on her face. Yeah, he's gone. Hinata said with a depressed look on her. I also got some information on Ansem and Nexus. Hinata said with an angry tone in her voice. Really? Well, let's hear it. Zien said. Hinata explained everything that Nexus told her about them not coming back for another 2.5 years, and Nexus's identity of him being her cousin, which shocked her that Hinata had a cousin. She then explained that during the chunin exam preliminaries before she got her keyblade, she saw that her cousin Neji had a dark aura around him but disappeared after he went unconscious after beating him. I see. So Ansem must have sensed his darkness, and convinced him into darkness. Zien said. Damn it Ansem. You actually got yourself basically another Riku. Zien thought. Zien then turned to Hinata who had a determined look on her face. I've already had the chance to talk to Jiraiya about your theory, and he told me that he will be taking Naruto on a training journey for 2.5 years. Hinata, I need to know something from you, this is important. Zien said with a serious look on her face. What is it? Hinata asked. I'm thinking of taking you on a training journey as well, but unlike Naruto and Jiraiya's journey, we will be going to a different world. Hinata got a surprised look on her face. I'll have to get the arrangements ready so you have time to tell the others and cut any loose ends. Hinata, I need to know, will you go on this journey with me? Zien asked. Don't worry, take your time, remember we will be back. Hinata started to think. She thought of multiple memories of her time in Konoha, friends, family and most importantly Naruto. After an hour of thinking. Alright, I'll go, she said with a determined look on her face. Zien then gave her a warming smile. Great. Here, take this. Zien then held out a hooded black cloak that was similar to her with a pair of black high-heel shoes. What's this? Hinata asked. This black coat will let us pass through the corridors safely. You don't have to wear it now, but wear it when it's time to go. Quote. Alright. Good. I got to get to Tsunade and tell her about our journey plan, and then I got to go and get the arrangements ready, so I guess this is goodbye for now. Zien said as she walked up to Hinata and hugged her. Yeah, I'll see you when it's time to go. Hinata said with a smile. Zien then let go Hinata. Yeah, she said with a smile. She then walked away to go and tell Tsunade everything and go make the preparation. Soon Hinata was alone watching the sun set into dusk. She then took a deep breath in. I should settle some certain matters. As she left the Hokage monument. The scene then changes to Hyuga compound. Hinata's father, Hiashi, is strictly training Hinata's sister Hanabi to the point of exhaustion. Okay, I'll ease into him, and then I'll tell him everything. Hinata thought. Hinata started to get close to the two with a plate of tea. I brought tea, Hinata announced. Hiashi and Hanabi then looked towards Hinata's direction, then quickly turned back to Hanabi. Hanabi, let's take a break, Hiashi said. Yes, father. The two then sat down beside Hinata, each taking a glass of tea. Hiashi was staring at Hinata with a look of concern which Hinata rarely sees at her father. So I heard your recent mission was a failure. Hiashi said. Hinata then got a depressed look on her face. Yeah, Sasuke Uchiha got away. But it only means I have to train harder and harder, and speaking of training, I must tell you something. Hiashi and Hanabi then got a concerned look on their face as they turned their heads towards her. Yes, what is it about? Hiashi asked. Hinata then took a deep breath. Well, I know what happened, Neji, and it involves that recent enemy I met at the chunin exam finals. What do you mean? Does that man and boy of his have something to do with Neji's disappearance? Hiashi demeaned. Well, it's a long story, so here's what happened. Hinata then explained everything about Nexus being Neji and how he chose to be Ansem apprentice. After Hiashi heard everything from Hinata, he had a guilty look on face. Don't worry, father, I'll get even stronger than before and bring Neji back. Hinata said, brimming with confidence, which surprised Hiashi. There is also something I need to ask you. Well then, young lady, tell me then, what is it? Well, Xian has offered me the chance to go on a training journey with her to prepare me for when Ansem and Nexus return, so is it alright if I can go with her? Hinata asked. Hiashi stood up and went in front of his daughter with a concerned look on his face. She's gained more confidence in herself, it makes me proud. Hiashi thought. Hinata, you and Hanabi are members of the main house of the Hyuga clan, therefore you must do what you think is right. Hiashi said. So does that mean that? Yes, you can go on that training journey. Thank you, father. Hinata said, bowing her head. Yes. Hinata thought. As long as you tell me when you're leaving, of course. I'll miss sis. Hanabi said. Hinata then smiled at her sister. Don't worry, I'll be fine, Hanabi, you just concentrate on your training with father. She then turned to her father with a serious look on her face. Don't worry, father, I'll bring back Neji no matter what. She said, brimming with confidence. Hinata then started to yawn from exhaustion. I'm going to head to bed now, good night. Good night, sis. Hanabi said. I'll see you in the morning for some quick training before you go on your journey.